Do you like it when someone eats off of your plate? Or does it bother you for someone to drink from your cup? Now, if it's a close family member, you might be okay with that. But what if it was a total stranger? Yeah, that might be really strange and bother me too. What about sharing your spouse with another person sexually? Whoa! Now, that's going too far, isn't it? Join me today as we take a quick look at the Proverbs and examine Solomon's encouragement to keep sexual intimacy exclusive to marriage. Read with me Proverbs chapter 5, verse 15 through 23. Drink water from your own cistern, running water from your own well. Should your springs overflow in the streets, your streams of water in the public squares? Let them be yours alone, never to be shared with strangers. May your fountain be blessed, and may you rejoice in the wife of your youth. A loving doe, a graceful deer, may her breasts satisfy you always. May you ever be intoxicated with her love. Why, my son, be intoxicated with another man's wife? Why embrace the bosom of a wayward woman? For your ways are in full view of the Lord, and He examines all your paths. The evil deeds of the wicked ensnare them. The cords of their sins hold them fast. For lack of discipline they will die, led astray by their own great folly. Sexual pleasures should only be shared with your spouse. Believe it or not, God created sex. He created it to be a wonderful thing shared exclusively between a husband and a wife. Paul said in 1 Corinthians 7:2 that each man should have sexual relations with his own wife, and each woman with her own husband. God desires for us to enjoy the fun and pleasure of sex with only our spouses. Anything outside of that should be considered off limits. Now, God will bless our sexual relationships when it is within the enclosure of marriage. In verse 18, Solomon compares the relationship between a husband and a wife to a fountain. In the dry, arid regions of the Middle East, a fountain or a well gave life to those who were parched by the sun and the heat. But God intended the fountain of sexual pleasure to be exclusive. God gave Eve to Adam, and He desired for both of them to be totally captivated with each other. Ecclesiastes chapter 9, verse 9 says, "Enjoy life with your wife, whom you love, all the days of this life that God has given you under the sun." The consequences of immorality are never worth it. A sexually immoral relationship can never compare to God's design of pure, intimate sexuality in marriage, in this marriage relationship. Verse 20 of these verses stands in contrast to verse 19. In verse 20, Solomon poses a question. He says, "Why be intoxicated with another man's wife?" Because, in verse 19, a husband is to be intoxicated with his own wife. That's why he asked that question. And then, verse 21 through 23 give more reasons to stay away from immoral sexual behavior. Why should you stay sexually pure? Because everything you do is seen by the Lord, including your sex life. even if you could succeed in keeping a sinful affair quiet, God still knows. Hebrews chapter 4, verse 13 says, "Nothing in all creation is hidden from God's sight. Everything is uncovered and laid bare before the eyes of Him whom we must give an account." And Jeremiah 16:17 says, "My eyes are on all their ways. They are not hidden from me, nor is their sin concealed from my eyes." So, how can we keep our marriages and our sex lives clean and godly? One Bible scholar gave some tips. He gave these 5 tips. Number 1, remember and keep your marriage vows. What did you promise your spouse? Number 2, keep the marriage fires of intimacy burning. Keep that passion. Number 3, focus on meeting each other's needs before meeting your own needs. And number 4, do not hold unrealistic expectations for yourself or for your spouse. And number 5, stay close to the Lord.